Welcome to Tiny Tours. I'm Howard Vestal, a docent at the Meadows Museum. Today, we'll be taking a look at Still Life with Stained Glass by Cuban-American artist Umberto Calzada. It's an acrylic on canvas work from 1987. Our eye is drawn first to the archway and the austere, dreamlike scene visible beyond the brown wall. Below it, atop a table covered by a white cloth, we see broken pieces of architectural stone, a pristine Corinthian capital, and a stained glass panel. Our eye then circles back to the sterile world above. We look again at the arched opening, see steps that go nowhere and walls that have no roof. Amid long shadows, a turquoise sea extends to the horizon. Obsession with architectural forms is prototypical of Calzada's vast body of work. But this piece is unique because it exhibits a subtle example of trompe-l'oeil, a trick of the eye. Look closely. A narrow shadow at the lower edge of the panorama beyond reveals that it's an image hanging on the wall. There is no expansive vista. Instead, we're cloistered close upon a strange collection of objects. Let's see how they relate to the artist. Born in 1944, Calzada was a teen in 1960 when his family fled Havana after Castro's takeover. Old enough to have deep ties to his homeland, he joined other expatriates in Miami who longed to return to a democratic Cuba. Though his boyhood dream was to become an architect, Calzada reluctantly studied engineering in college since an economic downturn made prospects in architecture difficult. After graduate school, he worked for years as an engineer, but had no love for his job. His focus was on his art. He became a self-taught painter with a repetitive signature style that's packed with symbolism. We're reminded of author Somerset Maugham's quote about the creative process. To the acute observer, no one can produce the most casual work without disclosing the innermost secrets of one's soul. So let's ask, what are Calzada's secrets? First, in painting, the still life genre follows a simple recipe. It's an arranged world of lifeless objects, a world that often includes religious and allegorical symbolism. A few things jump out at us. The Escher-like architecture of the lifeless scene on the wall evokes a melancholic response. It's an empty world, a house half built and deserted. Its pastel colors, the archway, its tile floor, stained glass shadow, and a placid sea suggest the Caribbean and Spanish colonial architectural influence. Is this pristine vision Cuba? Once a paradise, but now devoid of life? Did Calzada's flight from the idyllic island of his boyhood leave him with an empty dream and a heart that still aches? As we survey the odd display of architectural icons atop the table, we sense regret as we recall the artist's stillborn dream of an architecture career. We also notice the exquisitely rendered creases in the table's creamy white cloth and recall the still life genre's religious allegorical tradition. The table, its crowded display of objects, its covering, we're reminded of Leonardo's Last Supper with its many figures and its table linen's precisely detailed crease and fold marks. Sacred symbolism is further abetted by the Christ-like metaphor of an immaculate Corinthian capital Cuba, poised on the Last Supper-like eve of its downfall, as we sense a reflection of the pain and sacrifice of those who fled. All this in a simple still life from a contemporary regional artist? Calzada's secrets are plain to see. His expression of melancholy and regret likely strikes a deep and resonant chord in the hearts of many others who've been forced to flee their homeland. Thank you for listening. Plan to join us for more of the Meadows Museum's Tiny Tours.